Shalom friends, welcome to my channel again. So having completed the creation of the OAuth app in Azure AD, the next thing will be to create the script itself. I'll be using Microsoft Visual Studio Code as my text editor. You can use whatever text editor that you have in your disposal, provided you can be able to create a PowerShell script. Okay, so the first thing will be to install a module that will allow us to generate access token for us. You can use Postman if you like to generate the access token, but for my case that will take longer time, and the script itself should be able to generate the access token in real time. So whenever you run the script, it should generate a different or a unique access token. So to install the module, you need to open PowerShell as administrator. And the command to install the module is install -module name. The name of the module is msr.ps. So just by running that command, since I had already installed the module, it will return nothing. But for your case, it will begin installing. Let's just give it some time. Boom. There we go. So mine is already installed. So the next thing is to create a script. So let me just clear my screen there, and then you move back to Visual Studio Code. So the first snippet is the snippet that will generate access token for us, and it will utilize the application client ID, tenant ID, and the secret. So I'll create a variable for that and call it connection details. Here I need tenant ID, I need client ID, that is the application ID, and then I need the client secret. Client secret is the value of our secret that we generated in Azure. So for my case, I had already saved the application ID in a notepad. I have the tenant ID here, and I have my secret here. So I just need to copy. So the first thing is application client ID, tenant ID, the last one should be this secret value. And then I need to create a variable to host the token. That's the commandlet to get the token, and then now you pass in my connection detail variable here. I can create another variable since this will bring the information in a table format. I just need to grab the ID itself. So I create a variable to host the ID itself. It should be token. And then call token dot access token. Now I can copy that snippet and paste in Notepad. In PowerShell. Okay, as you can see, I'm getting an error. Cannot convert the secret, that is our value there, of type system.string to type system.security secure string. So we have a conflict here with the system, the way it's translating our secret value, and that is because we have special character within our secret value. To do that, we need to convert it into something that the computer can be able to understand. I can clear my screen again, and then we move back to our script, and from here we're going to add the pipe simple, and then type convert, to secure string, and then -s plain text going to false. So you should correctly type convert -secure string correctly for it to work. So I can paste again this. I can copy again the script and paste in PowerShell. And press enter. As you can see, we have the secret. We have the access token. It only lasts for 1 hour, and then when we run the script, it generates a different or another unique access token. Let's go back to our scripts. So I can go ahead and comment the first snippet and call it access token generator. Moving next, I can create a variable here and call it access token, just to store the token value that you have generated above. It's token ID. Then we need to create a variable to host the user mailbox that we will be scanning. So I have a test user in my test environment or in my lab. We test user Bernard Coms Ltd. Microsoft. So this is the user whom will be experimenting in this tutorial. So if I can just go back to my tenant and go to active users, that is the user. You can see the user is already assigned Office 365 E5 license, and go to mail. The user has a mailbox. I can just add a comment here. User to scan mailbox, inbox, messages. Moving to the next snippet will be now the connection URI to the deleted folder of this user mailbox. So we need to grab the ID of the deleted items folder, because that's where we will move each message that has already been processed by the script. So to create the URL, so I can just comment here and grab deleted items folder ID. I'll create a variable to host that URI. And here I'm going to type HTTPS graph we are using version 1.0 of Microsoft Graph. Here we reference users, and then user should now, we should target mail user. We need to go to the user mail folders and then deleted items. Create another variable to authenticate to this user mailbox. So to authenticate to user mailbox, we're going to use invoke-rest method commandlet. If you want to learn more about this commandlet, you can just go to your browser and search for invoke rest method. From here, you can learn more about the syntax of invoke rest method, the parameters that it accepts, and all the switches. So here you can learn more about this commandlet. Let's go back to our script. So here we'll call invoke rest method. URI, I'm going to pass in the URI that I've just created there. Headers, I'm going to pass now the access token. So we are passing our access token as a bearer token. Okay, I'm making a mistake here. Access token here. I can print, or we can display the folder ID, that is the deleted items folder ID. To do that, we'll just call del.id, and then I can run the script again. As you can see, we have, let me expand here. So we have the folder ID for deleted items. We will be using this ID later in the script. Let me store the ID in a variable. Just call it deleted items folder ID. Moving next, since we are scanning the inbox folder, we need to create a URI for the inbox. To do that, I'll create a variable to host the URI, and for this one I'm going to call it URL. I can add comment here. Grab inbox folder. So URL, it should be the same. So I'll just copy the one for deleted items and do modification. So here I'm interested in inbox and then messages. Now I need to filter all messages that are as attachment in the inbox folder. To do that, we'll create a variable to host such messages. And I'll call it message query. I'm going to concatenate URL, that is for the inbox. You need to filter has attachment equal to true. So get into inbox messages and then filter each message that has attachment. Once that is done, we need to authenticate to the inbox folder. To do that, we need to create a variable and call it messages. I will call invoke. Invoke REST method, and then here for URL I'm going to pass in now message query. And for headers it's the same, so you utilizing the token that we have generated, so that should be the same. Now that we have all messages that has attachment, we can move next and loop through each message. Do that, I can just add a comment here. And loop each message. Then I'm going to call for each message in messages dot value I'll create a variable here to host the attachment URL, so I'll just call it query. Do the concatenation. Interesting message.id. You just keep it in caps. And then now we need attachment. Should be attachments. Once we have the attachment variable there, we can create another variable to host now the attachments. We need to authenticate. We invoke REST method, and then query. We pass in the variable for attachment there. The other should be the same, the headers. So we just need to copy and paste the headers. Now that we have all the attachments in a variable, we need to loop over each attachment. So we call for each again, and now should be attachment in attachments dot value. Let's get the name of the attachment. Since now we have the attachment here, we need to create a variable that will host the path in our computer where we will store that attachment. Just add a comment there. To do that, I'll create a variable named path. I'll store the attachment in C drive in a folder named temp. Let me call it temp6. I had already done some few tests, so I know I have a folder named temp5. So let me call this one temp5. You can add as well a network share if you have a network share in your environment, so you can just key in your network share there. And here you need to add now the attachment dot name. Once that is done, we need now to encode it so that it can be understood by the computer, or else we'll get errors. So I'll create a variable for that and call it content. Maintaining, I'm going to call system. This should be from base 64 string. And then we pass in attachment dot name. I should not be attachment dot name, but attachment dot content bytes. Next, we need to call in commandlet for encoding. Should be set content. For path, should be now our path there. Value, it should be a content variable, and then encoding byte. Now, just to explain what you're doing here. So once we get the messages that are as attachment, we loop over each message, and then we grab, we loop through each attachment in those messages, and then we create a variable here that will host the directory or the folder where we're going to store the attachment from the messages. The next thing will be now to move already processed message to the deleted item folder, or just delete the mail. To do that, we need to create a variable, and then we call the URL for inbox. We concatenate it. We need to move the mail. Just to comment here, and you can say move already processed message. Should be message or email to deleted items folder. Our script will do post request to deleted item folder. So let me create a variable to host now the destination ID. The destination ID now translates to the deleted items folder ID that we generated earlier here, this variable. So I can even just copy it. Destination ID. Now we paste the deleted items folder ID. Next is to do a post request to deleted items folder. To do that, we need to call invoke this method. We pass in our query variable there at the top. For body, we pass in the body variable that we have created here, and then content type, this should be a JSON content, so the application, JSON application / JSON. Method should be post, and then headers, now authentication. Let me wrap our code so that you can be able to see it's already in wrap. So I'll just go here and paste authorization. And then paste it there. So that's it, guys. Now the script is done, so we just need to test it. It's very simple. So to test it, I just need to log into test user mailbox, so that we need to have an attachment within the inbox. We need to have an email for this user in the inbox that has attachment. To do that, this is the test user account. I can go, let me just send an email from this account. Email, I'm sending to test user, demo mail at one, that one. And then for attachment, I already have a PDF here, so I can just click that one and then send. We go to the mailbox for test user. So there we go, guys. We have the mail and it has an attachment. So once we run our script, the script will scan the inbox folder, and if it will encounter an email that has attachment, it will extract that attachment and then move that original mail to deleted items folder. Going to deleted items, we have 2 emails. These came in as a result of testing, so we are only interested with this one. The next thing that we need to do, as you can remember from the script, I said we will store the attachment in a folder within the C drive named temp6. We need to create this folder. So I can just go to C drive within my computer. And then create a new folder. Call it temp6. So currently the folder is empty. Let's go and test our script. Just need to copy the entire script. You can run it as main.ps1, but for my case, I'm just going to copy the entire script and paste it in PowerShell. Let me first clear the screen and then paste script. As you can see, it has gone successfully, and there we go. That is the attachment. It has already been extracted, so we do not have any errors, so it has run successfully. Let's go to the folder that you have just created to confirm if you have that attachment. As you can see, there is nothing, there is no attachment here now. Let's go back to that mailbox and confirm. So the mail is not there within the inbox for test user, and if I go to deleted items, we have the mail there. It has already been moved to this folder, but going to the folder that we have just created, that is temp6, we have nothing. So it means there is a problem with our script somewhere. We need to debug that. So let me just go back to the script itself. Okay, I think we have an issue here. I forgot to add backward slash there. We can perform the test again. To do that, I just need to send another email. Test user, and then call it demo at 21.7. I can put the same PDF attachment there, then send a mail. You come to the inbox, you can see we have a mail that has attachment here. So guys, as you can see, we have an email within the inbox folder for test user, and it has an attachment. Let's rerun our script and test. And clear the screen first, and then press the script. Press enter. Okay, it has run successfully. That is the attachment. It has already been extracted. Let's go back and confirm within the folder that we created if it's there. So if we open the folder, we have the email there. We have the attachment there. So now it's working. And if we go to the mailbox, under inbox, as you can see, we have nothing in, but when you go to deleted items, we have the mail there, our demo mail with the attachment. So it has already been processed, the attachment extracted, and the original email deleted. So it's working. So guys, that's how simple you can create a PowerShell script, custom PowerShell script that will scan Office 365 mailbox for attachment and then save those attachments in a local storage within your computer or network share. If you require custom PowerShell scripts for Office 365 automation, you can let me know within the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. See you. Bye bye.